Alright friends, so we're here to continue with our adding and subtracting fractions. In our previous lesson we looked at adding fractions with unlike units, and today we're going to look at subtracting fractions with unlike units. As always, please make sure that you're pausing and rewinding as you need, so that way you can have appropriate understanding and be working out these problems with me. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at this real quick. We are going to use our area models to help us. I'm going to start by showing 1/2. And I'm really going to keep in mind that my 1/2 is my total, so this is what I'm working with. But to go ahead and find a common denominator, I'm going to put 1/3 off to the side here, just so that way I can find that common denominator. But I know that I'm not combining these, I am separating. Okay, so I need to rename these as a common denominator. An easy way to do that with our area model is just to mirror those lines. So I'm going to show my thirds on my halves. And I'll show my halves on my thirds. And I just realized that I forgot to color in that 1/3. Alright, so now when we're looking at this, what have we done? Okay, so I had my 1/2. I showed my thirds on it, on both my two total pieces and that one piece that was colored in. And I see that 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. So I have 3/6, I have 3/6 right here. What am I subtracting from that? Well, I'm subtracting 1/3. I showed my halves. Using that identity property to find an equivalent fraction, I'm subtracting 2/6. Now, is my answer 5/6? No, because we are not counting. We're using our brains and we're realizing, oh, I'm subtracting. So 3/6 versus, or take away 2/6, I'm going to take away those 2/6. How much is left? Well, 1/6, of course, because 3 take away 2 is 1, and my unit is 1/6. Alright, so let's go ahead and set this one up together, and then I'm going to have you pause and work it out. Alright, so I have 2/3 take away 1/4. So what's my total? Very good, my total is 2/3, so I'm going to go ahead and show my 2/3. And then just to help me find my common denominator, I'll show my 1/4 up here. I'm kind of putting it off to the side because I know that I'm not combining them. I don't want my brain to go into autopilot. Alright, so I want you to go ahead and rename these fractions and then subtract them after you've renamed. Go ahead and pause and do that now. Alright, so as you were renaming, maybe you used your area models and you mirrored your lines, maybe you used our identity property. But overall, we get that 2/3 is the same as 8/12, and then 1/4 is the same as 3/12. So now I'm working with 8/12 take away 3/12. So I'm going to take away 1/12, 2/12, 3/12. How much 12 do I have left? Well, 5, because 8 take away 3 is 5, and my unit is 12ths. Let's go ahead and have you guys do one more just like this, and then we'll go ahead and take it one step further. I want you to go ahead and pause and solve this one right here in entirety, and then we'll debrief it when we get back. So again, go ahead and pause and solve that one. Alright, so using our area model and using our identity property of multiplication, we can go ahead and rename 4/5 as 12/15. And from that, I am subtracting 2/3, which I can rename as 10/15. And what is my final answer? Well, it would be 2/15. All right, let's take it one more step. When I have 1 and 1/3 take away 1/2. Okay, so how are we going to solve that? Well, first I need to go ahead and think about this. So if I have 1 and 1/3, so here's 1 and I have 1/3. Well, how many thirds are in one whole? Well, there's 3. So overall, I have 4 thirds, right? Because I have my 3/3 from my one whole, and then I have my 1/3 as well. Okay, so I have 4 thirds. All right. So from that 4 thirds, I want to go ahead and subtract 1/2. What is going to be my common denominator? What's this common unit that I can both rename them as? Did I hear you say 6? I sure hope so, because that's exactly what we are going to be able to do. All right, so let's go ahead and rename it. So we are renaming my 4 thirds. I'm reflecting those halves using the identity property. All right, so now I have 8/6, and that makes sense because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so now I'm at 8/6. And what am I going to take away? I'm going to take away 3/6. Let's see, I have 3/6 right up here. When I use that identity property to show that I'm reflecting those thirds, I have my 3/6, and then I just go ahead and subtract. 8/6 take away 3/6. Well, that's going to give me 5/6. So when we have a whole number in front, it's exactly the same. We're just going to go ahead and decompose one of those wholes into an improper fraction, so that way we can best subtract. All right, let's go ahead and have you do these two. So go ahead and pause and work out these two, and then when you come on back after hitting play, we will go ahead and go over them again. Go ahead and click pause and work on these two, right here and right here. All right, so let's go over this first one first. So I have 1 3/4. I know that's the same as 7/4. I'm right here because 1 is the same as 4/4. I had 3/4 already, so 4/4 plus 3/4 gives me 7/4. I'm going to rename. I went ahead and used my identity property, but you could absolutely use your area model if you want. 7/4, I can rename that by multiplying by 5/5 to get 35/20. I can do the same thing with 4/5, this time multiplying by 4/4 to get 16/20. Now that I've renamed both of them in similar units, I can go ahead and subtract. 35/20, take away 16/20. What is that going to get me? That is going to get me 19/20. Take a second to look this one over, and then we're going to move on to our second one. Please make sure that you have worked it out. Alright, so again, I am renaming that 1 4/9. I know it's the same as 13/9 when I rename it by putting both of those units on top of one another. So I have my 13/9 times 2/2. That gives me 26/18 versus 1/2 times 9/9. That gives me 9/18. I finally have these similar units, so I can go ahead and subtract. 26/18 take away 9/18. Well, that's going to give me 17/18. Alright, friends, please let me know if you have any questions upon watching this. Please make sure that you've worked out those problems to ensure full understanding, and then you can go ahead and move on to your problem set and your exit. I'm looking forward to seeing them.